Coming up, the Australian national team has officially kicked off their training camp, and we've got some new selection criteria. Controversial or not, it's here to stay. We'll talk about that coming up soon. We've also got some Aussies competing in their first ever Series A this year in Larnaca. All that follows after our talented friend Good Fortune. Welcome back to the Kaizen Culture Pod, where we are keeping the conversation moving within Australian karate. My name is Mitchell Durham, here as always with Nathan Blockley and John Stainer. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, whether it be on Apple or Spotify, and we're also watchable on YouTube. So please give the podcast a rating because it'll help us out a bunch. Now, boys, the Australian team national training camp was 2 weeks ago.
And how was it?
It's great. It's good seeing everyone again. Feels like it's a weird thing because over the summer, feel like you've taken so much time away from everyone. But then when you see all your mates, you're just like, it's like you saw them last week. So it was wicked.
Did it feel like a big kick off the year sort of thing? Because it's the first time the Australian national team are getting together for this training.
Yeah.
There wasn't any tournament specific training, was it? Like there was no Oceania, not yet. So it was just start to the year, everybody get together.
Yeah. No, it was just, I think you register, you come, it's like the main one where everyone is just a part of it. So it was a lot of numbers, especially in the juniors, like the kids' sessions. It was just packed. It was good. Everyone was there. And it was good to start it off again because despite the break and taking rest and time off, and I think everyone was had a good baseline, I would say.
Is it fairly new doing it this early?
No, it used to be this same time, a couple of years ago, and then we went away from it for a long time. We haven't had a start of the year national training camp for a long time, which was just an open training camp. I don't think so anyway.
All right, so this is the first in the last couple of years.
Yeah. It's either been a tournament specific one, or it's been later on or tacked onto the tournament.
And everything's so early this year, right? The whole calendar's early. It's I can't believe it's mid-February. We were just saying, I still feel like Christmas just finished.
Yeah.
I mean, we're only on our second pod and it's already February.
Yeah.
That's crazy, hey?
What sort of numbers are we talking at this camp? If you had to throw a number out there.
This is the classic M&Ms in a jar. Yep. I'm terrible at these games. I'm sitting there. Jess and I talk about it all the time. We're always just how many people in this group? And you're
trying to Rain Man it?
Yeah. Okay. I reckon there would probably be I would say 200.
200
people.
That's a lot of people.
Across juniors and
for
seniors.
A national team as well.
Yeah. Maybe less. I'd say...
Turns out there was 50. Yeah. It's just wow.
Oh gosh, I don't know. 200 is too many maybe. Let's say 150.
Yeah. How many mats were operating?
It was...
Can't even count the number of mats.
Because I set it up as well.
Do they fit on one hand?
No. Nah, it wasn't because it was a smaller mat. There was 2, 4, 6, 8 mini mats. Yeah. But it was the size of a basketball court. The normal...
Nice and intimate.
Training. Yeah, it was good. Weird thing though, no spectators. That was a rule. Do you find that odd?
I do find that odd.
No parents.
No parents, no coaches, nothing. Only coaches and athletes were allowed in.
If I was a parent, I'd like to be able to watch my children, especially if I've travelled. If I'm in Victoria, maybe I'll just drop them off. But if I've travelled for another state, I want to see how my kid fares up in the national team in the grand scheme of things. Why would they restrict that?
The only thing I can think of is maybe capacity or too many people in one room. Maybe Karate Victoria or Victoria University has a agreement where you can't have too many people in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If there were 400 people in the squad and then a parent for each of those.
400.
Was it 400 you said?
I don't know. It could have been any number. No, but it's another thing. If you're a state coach, would you not want to see what the national team's doing so you can streamline?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to receive that information off a 13-year-old kid. Sure. What did you do today? And they're like, I did kata.
I think some of the adult fighters too.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. I can't remember anything we did. No, I don't. No, I don't. What was actually really cool is we started off with matches. And initially, I'm going to be honest, I was not keen for some fights. We're all, not in our most fit states and ready to go. maybe we're going to get some injuries, whatever. But it was wicked. It was so good. Everyone was like ready to go. The intensity was high. I got a blood nose within the first like session. It was wicked.
My Bobby.
Rory and Jonathan.
Surely I'm a Bobby.
Was my Bobby? I think, yeah, Dom gave me my Bobby, actually. But it was wicked, just the intent. It wasn't like 3 minutes full referees. It was just like a minute and a half, 2 minutes or so, and just casual refereeing, and then you get off. And we were sweating by the end of it. It was so good.
How'd they structure it? Were you saying that there was something like juniors on, then seniors get a break or something like that?
Man, the coaches must have been tired because like from the first like open, it was juniors were on first for the first 2 hours. They went for a break, and then we were on for the next 2 hours, and then the juniors came on for the next 2 hours, and then we were on for the next 2 hours. So obviously there's senior and junior coaches, but still, like, you're on for the whole day.
Yeah.
The juniors training looked crazy. There was so many kids. Matt Johnson is the lead coach, and he was running the show, which is a tight ship. It's wicked.
That energy's going to be high.
Yeah. It was good to see like a different range of kids as well, like some kids you haven't seen before, and obviously the same ones that have been around for a little bit.
Bit of team bonding?
Not too many team bonding, like initiated things. A lot of people just hung out in the breaks. Like a couple of the seniors, we went for a drive, got some coffee, and the juniors were, I don't know what they were doing.
Maybe say that for some like team specific sort of camps. It's
Maybe.
hard to do some team bonding with 200 people or 400 or 600.
400, yeah, who knows?
It's like 5,000 people.
And it's just so many different groups, right?
Yeah.
Are there more specific camps planned?
Don't know.
On the Karate Australia calendar, on their online one, there is nothing. So there's usually they host one after Oz Open because that's everybody's there, whether you agree with it or not, hosting a camp straight after a tournament. But it is an opportunity where everyone's there. You can get some training in. There's nothing in the calendar that says there's going to be anything on the Monday or Tuesday.
I love how you know the facts, and Mitch is just like, I'm vibing. There's not. I don't think there is.
I think they're steering away from the post-tournament
Hey,
camps.
great. Fantastic. I disagree with them, you know.
Yeah.
It's too hard to get anything out of your athletes after such a massive weekend.
Yeah.
And what we'll talk about later on in terms of Thursday being a bit of a selection day, that's a huge weekend. And then you want to tag training on the end of that as well.
There is those pros, though, of just like the money, time. You know,
it's tough.
Some people work,
It's
guys.
expensive. It's expensive. Like if you just going over to Melbourne for 2 days, it's like $700. And I was lucky enough not to have to spend on accommodation, but like you're flying over from Perth to Melbourne for 1-2 day training camp. You know what I mean? It's a lot.
Should we go back to my 4-step plan? 5-step plan?
Have we got it?
Of how to... Oh, yeah, it's up here, mate. I don't need it down on paper.
Nathan's always got the plan.
What was
Don't quote me, though.
What was interesting though is there was a bit of a news drop on sort of a change of selection for this year, especially at the Oceania.
Always been a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Always been a hard to figure out who, especially if you, like Oceania, you got 2 spots, but only one person gets points. So you've got to select 2, but you've also got to select the one that gets the points. And that could attribute to world selection at the end of the year as well. It's
more
pretty
touchy
big.
now with the new world system.
So what
You
is
wanna
it?
make sure you get
What's
the
the
points.
inside goss?
Well, they're moving away from the ambiguous selection and just off of feel and like we feel that this person's better, yada, yada, yada. And it's going to be more streamlined of taking the last year's results, not 2 years anymore. So last year's results of Australian Open and Nationals, that's in your weight division, but also in the open division. If you get a first medal, so if you get gold, silver, or first bronze, which means the bronze medal that lost to the gold medalist. So if I lose to you, John, you win.
Okay.
And then I get bronze. I'm the first bronze. So does that make sense?
But if I lost to the guy who you beat in the
3A
finals,
and 3B.
Yeah, it's like 3A.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3A, 3B. That's nice.
Yeah.
Good one.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't know. Who's to say that bronze medalist is better than the other one?
Well, technically, you've just lost the same amount of fights as the silver medalist. It's just that you happen to meet up with the same person on earlier on. So you and the silver medalist, me and the silver medalist are equal.
I get it. What if you're just always seated against the second guy? Or what if, I don't know,
You
like...
should beat the second guy.
You should. What if they stumbled in car? I don't know.
We don't talk about Carter. No.
But at the end of the day, there's no perfect way to do it.
No.
Because I do agree with John. Like, you can lose to the silver medalist, but still be better than the person who lost to the gold medalist.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, you
so
can
Sometimes
the
matchups or just
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
round.
Yeah,
Could potentially just go on and just go both bronze medalists get a.
Getting into the weeds, I just find it an interesting cut point. It would have been so easy to
Yeah.
just go all medalists.
Yeah.
And then they went, oh, but not this bronze.
Because that's how they did it. That's how they're doing it for the World Championship selection. So for the World Games selection, it's the medalists from last year's World Championships. So last individual worlds, it's the gold medalist, silver medalist, and then the first bronze medalist.
First bronze.
No, second bronze.
and they did that for the teams last year as well in terms
Teams
of the
last
team.
year.
Yeah,
So it's. I think they're probably just trying to stay consistent with the World
Sure.
Federation.
yeah.
But yeah, depending on like selection, not selection, nomination for the Oceania Championships, your registration for the year, and also I think coaches like have the final sort of say about who gets to come to these events. Like let's say if someone's just like, I don't know, whatever, but
Sick
or
for both events, something
or
like that. Yeah.
or maybe there was a division where it was just a two people in the final, and that person was say one.
Yeah.
event. I'm not sure.
There has
but
to be some judgment, right?
there is some
Juniors coming
judgment.
up into seniors.
Exactly. Yeah,
You know.
but
Yeah, weight changes is now
Weight
a thing as
changes.
well.
weight changes.
Yeah, because it used to be just a straight, like if you were making a weight change, then you just weren't eligible for selection the year that you made the weight change. You went through that, Mitch, didn't you, when
Yeah.
you dropped from take 84?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but now it's like, I think, for instance, Kiri and Crystal, they were minus 68, and now they're moving up to plus 68 this year because they got a result last year. They got a bronze, first, second, or bronze. They are eligible for now this fight day, which is on the Thursday of the Australian Open. So all these people that have nominated and have got a result, they will be required to fight off for the first and second seed at the Oceania Championship. At the Oceania Championship.
So it's its own selection event
Yep.
on the
It could be a
Thursday.
lot.
It's
It could
big.
be a lot.
Now, I don't know how many numbers we got, but from the meeting that we had, the chat that we had, it was like the maximum 4, 5, because it comes down to the discretion of the coaches. But most people know that have nominated for the Oceania Championships. If you got a medal in the last year of tournaments, you're going to be fighting on that Thursday.
But if you got a bronze potentially, you didn't decide to nominate because you said, oh, well, they're probably going to select 1 and 2 in the division. Like if I got bronze, I'm not going to get it, so I'm not even going to bother registering.
I don't know. There were like 900 people at the camp. I think everyone.
No, you're
registered.
still in the national team,
Yeah.
but yeah, you're not registering for the Oceania selection. But maybe
Absolutely.
upon knowing this information, knowing that you got a first bronze, maybe you kind of wish you did because at the end of the day, you just need to perform on the one day.
Yeah.
Like things
is
could swing
tricky.
your way, and you could beat the first and second seed.
I think ideally selection criteria should be out before you have to nominate.
Yes.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
fair, I'm sure there's difficulties in the coaches like sorting that out. But
Yeah.
if you have to nominate by a certain date, you should kind of know what you're nominating for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
what the
process.
terms of that nomination is
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
selection. Yeah.
I think they're still working out the process themselves, which is crazy because it's like in 2 months. Like we still
Well,
haven't received
that
communication
influences
about it.
flights and stuff. Haven't
Well,
people
that's-
booked
I
their
mean,
flights,
that's
right?
a huge
What if
thing.
you were getting there on a Thursday, commentate athlete, you're like, I don't compete on Friday?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the same like Daniel was telling me. He's like, man, like I don't know if I need to be there for the Thursday because I'm working. I'm going to fly out on the Friday and compete on Saturday. You
That's
know what I
not
mean?
great, yeah.
So
Yeah.
we didn't know about this until at the camp. We got a little email. It said like a little asterisk, like subject to performance. You may be required to fight off on the Thursday. Yada yada. So ambiguous. But these guys are now drafting up an email to send to us because technically still haven't been invited to do that.
Yes,
Like still haven't
yes.
been told that we are fighting off.
Yeah, and we will say that all this speculation and information, there's no official release in terms of the selection criteria. It's just what we've heard through the grapevine.
Yeah.
Which is fine to comment on.
Absolutely.
You know, we heard it through the grapevine. We can speculate.
This is
like
just
this,
having a
but-
chat over coffee.
Yeah.
It's just we're having a chat over coffee with like hundreds of people listening on the in their car.
I don't mind the move to a more like definitive cutthroat.
Me too.
I think I was saying to you guys before, like swimming, from what I remember, is very like that. If you don't win the nationals, you're not selected for the worlds or whatever it is, or you get a certain time. So a lot of sports are a bit more cutthroat than us. It's been a bit like we feel like this is the right athlete.
Yeah.
I don't know about having a separate event when you're all competing against each other. at the Australian Open anyway. Why
Yeah,
not just use that event?
It almost makes the Australian Open redundant this year for the people.
Yeah.
that are
Not
competing.
almost, does.
Well,
I think
actually,
it's confusing.
Oh, yeah, I suppose if you're looking at next year. Oh, but
No,
next
no,
year's
no.
teams.
Doesn't matter next
yeah,
year.
what's...
Doesn't matter about next
Like
year.
you've
so
got
what's
your
the
event.
significance?
Yeah, it's only the year before the individual worlds.
So is it just
There
wide?
is no, there is a significance now. So, for instance, like in a division where there's no clear second seed or there's no clear first seed, the results from the Australian Open will dictate like how it's been forever. So, like,
But- Oh, yeah, because there's Oceania next year. So we're talking Oceania selection next year. It'll depend on this Australian Open result.
oh yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
because
right?
Oceania's not every 2 years now; it's every year.
Yes.
Senior
Yeah.
Oceania.
Senior, yeah.
Yeah, right. So it does
Okay,
matter.
so yeah, it does matter for the future selection. It has nothing to do with this year, but it does matter for future
that's true.
selections. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
still
I find
going.
it odd.
I'm almost like thinking because the USA do it. They have a trials day, like that happened maybe like last month, where
Okay.
they all come together. Like to this day, Tom Scott has to fight every year in the trials, and that determines first and second seed for the year. And yeah, it's just making it more streamlined and like clear, which is good. But you need to have a separate event. I'm not a big fan of right before Oz Open, the Thursday.
Yeah. Would you
Yeah.
prefer if it was just the Oz Open results?
I don't know. Like, yes, but also, what's wrong with having an extra step of qualification?
God, it's a tough
I
one.
don't know.
'Cause, like, what if you say you win gold at Oz Open, and then you're like, I've already booked my spot to Oceania next year. I'm
Yeah.
not even going to do nationals.
It's still a requirement
is-
though. They'll still have it as like a.
Oh, I'm sick. I don't know. I don't like. I'm trying to be devil's advocate. You know,
Okay,
like
yeah. I guess as well, like there could be people who've just not nominated interfering with. What if two people haven't nominated get first and second?
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like the guys who've nominated don't even get a medal, or like it's confusing. Whereas if you only have the people that have nominated for the event, you'll get a clear.
Yeah. So in the past it's been building your resume. Every tournament that you go to is part of building that resume that then the coaches look at and make a decision on who gets selected. Is this saying like if you meet the minimum requirement, which is first, second or first, third at a national tournament, you book your spot in this selection fight off tournament, is your job done after one medal at one tournament? Like
could-
you
I
booked your
guess-
spot.
I guess
And
you
then
could look at it like
nothing matters until that's a selection tournament.
that. Wow, it's
There's
yeah.
never going to be a right way to like a completely 100% right
Sure.
way to do it. One that everybody agrees with. It's never going to be that.
We were going to find criticism no matter what they
Yeah,
do. Let's
100%.
we're
Yeah.
picking it apart.
I don't mind the shift though to a more definitive.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it needs to happen. It just sort of takes a bit of like the complaining about it out of it. So like, you know, at the end of the day, what are we trying to do? We're trying to be competitive on the world stage. We're trying to win the Oceania Championships and then go, I'm going to go to the World Championships or whatever and try to beat the best in the world. At the end of the day, if you can't beat, you know, what you need to do your requirements in your own country, like I feel like that's, and I know that there are days, and I've had my bad days as well. Sometimes it doesn't perform great, you know. Who knows? On the Thursday, I might crap the bed, you know. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna
you
happen.
can win Oz Open nationals, both weight and senior.
Yeah.
And then lose on the Thursday, and then win the Australian Open and the Open, like your weight
Yeah,
and
true.
the Open, and still not get selected.
But then you could argue, am I not ready to then perform on the big stage if I can't perform when it matters most?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
and it does matter most on that Thursday, and that's something that Aussies have found challenging is performing on a one specific planned day.
Yeah. I think the more pressure's better because in the end of the day you're being picked to
Yeah.
produce under pressure.
Yeah,
So-
true. Whew, heavy.
Who likes it? Who doesn't?
Yeah,
Let us
we
know
want
in
to
the
know. Like,
comments.
it probably sounds very confusing when we're talking about it. I know that there's a lot of like numbers and like things going around in our heads because it's not a definitive thing yet.
So there's 6 medals potential
It actually could be 9.
if you include the opens
The
for the
open
fighting.
weight. Yeah.
But then there'll be some overlap, right? So some divisions
so
there
like-
might be like 2 people, some there might be 5.
Yeah. If there's only 2 people, you just there's no fight off. You just compete at the Aussie Open. Highest person at the Aussie Open gets the points. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
So that makes some sense.
Mm.
You'd hope they do a round robin if there's a few people and you get
It is
like
a
a bit of a
round
go
robin,
against
yeah.
everyone.
It is
Okay.
a round
Yeah.
robin, yeah.
Because again, you don't want luck of who you verse.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And throughout all that confusion, the main point is it all comes down to Thursday.
That's it.
Thursday's the big day.
Show up for Thursday.
Yeah. Should we
Yes.
take a short little break? We'll come back.
Yeah, I'm a bit gassed after
Yeah,
just discussing
cool
that.
down.
Yeah.
And we are back from the break. Enough debating on some hot topics. We're going to go into some facts. Fact.
Facts.
Today, starting this weekend, is the Series A in Larnaca. And we have some Aussies representing on the big stage. So we've got, you did some research on them a little bit. Did you look at who was going?
Yeah, so it's Stephanie Goal.
Yep.
She's a Victorian athlete participating in the female kata.
Yep.
And then we've also got Jessica Scully.
Nice.
Dom Scully's daughter. I'm sure she doesn't like being referred
I know,
to, but
yeah.
Dom Scully's daughter. But a lot of people know Dom,
Sure.
world referee. I'm sure he'll be refereeing at the event as well. Jessica is his daughter and competing in the female kata also. So we've got two Aussies representing us in the female kata in the Series A in Larnaca.
So good. I'm
Very
not going to try to pronounce that because you guys do a great job.
Come on, John. Give us one.
Larnaca?
I think that's all right. I think it's fine. We have to get
Con,
Con.
let us know. Yeah.
Con will
Nah.
rip me a new one. Just like,
This is huge. Like, Series A is a big competition, massive numbers, knockout. Like, it's one of the premier events of of karate. So to be able to, like, squeeze this into your year and give it a crack, like, honestly, good luck and enjoy the experience because it's just probably one of the best events you can go to.
is their first Series A?
I think so, yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Cool. Good luck, girls.
Yeah.
Mm.
We can't wait to see what the results are after that one. Judging,
Yeah, on tonight. I don't know if we said that. It's on tonight.
Yeah,
At the
judging.
time of this release, they'll be competing tonight. So
Yeah.
if you were part of our email list, you would have received information about what tatami they're on, who they're versing, what the ranking of the person they're versing is, all of this sort of stuff. Plus, you'll get post-event results as well. But yeah, they'll be competing tonight. So make sure you tune in.
Very good. All right. We've got some competitions starting on in the Australian circuit as well. So the state leagues, they're all kicking off. I think Tasmania says here they were last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend.
Wow. Is that the first one?
And
Tell
Melbourne.
you.
Is it Melbourne as well?
I'm pretty sure. No, because I think Tasmania was the first one. If you
Oh, first one of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
Like
I
first
thought
state tournament.
Yeah. So is it the first state tournament? Is it
of the year.
Of the year. I actually don't know if they have tournaments.
Tasmania has a
They
league.
definitely have tournaments.
Yes, yes.
It's not their first tournament.
I didn't
ever.
know if they have state tournaments though.
What?
They've only had like 2 or 3 competitors at every national championships. No,
That's true. I mean, but going to the national championships is different to competing in your state league.
yeah, they have a state league. I didn't know if they have a state tournament.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? How our state
State
league
championships.
is different to our state tournaments.
I
Or
don't
if they
even
just
know-
have state leagues and then whoever
Is that a
wants to go
consistent
can go.
system across the states? Because maybe people don't know, but we have like 3 or 4 state league tournaments hosted by clubs,
Yeah.
endorsed by the state, but hosted by clubs, and then there's an official state championships.
I think it's the same for most.
Yeah.
I don't know actually about New South Wales. I think New South Wales run all of their comps.
Yeah, do Melbourne as well?
Melbourne is club run.
I think
Definitely.
they've got a state
Same-
title and
same
then club.
format
Yeah.
as-
Yeah, because I know they have tournaments that are run by clubs but not VKLs.
yes,
But
they're-
then also their VKLs are organised and run by specific clubs. Are you saying?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And a state title.
Yep.
I understand that.
Anyway, there's a lot of state competitions going around.
Yes.
And
And we're next weekend.
yep, Melbourne's this weekend. We're next weekend. I think New South Wales, Queensland,
and New South Wales. Not state titles, but they have this first
Yeah.
state
Karate league,
tournament.
yeah.
I'm really keen for the tournaments to be back. Can't wait for the one in Perth
it's good, hey?
next year.
You got a lot of kids competing. How many kids do you have competing now?
I want to say around 15 to 20.
That is such a good little squad.
They're all 8 to 10 as well. I can't wait till in a few years when those
Yeah.
guys are older and there's new 8 to 10s.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's so good. Are they loving it?
I think so. You know what it's like. They love it, and then you love it more when you win, and then the days that you don't, and that's just the
It's
process.
the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Have you thought about taking like one day some kids over to like another state leagues tournament?
Not at this stage.
Not at this stage, but
Not at this
In
stage.
the future, in 5 years' time?
Could be good. I think we're like starting to get some people now. I had like for the last 2 times people going to nationals for the first time.
Mhm.
And then I got a couple of students going to the Open. I had one last year. So that's sort of building that. And I think to do that personally before trying to go to other state leagues. We're so far, right?
It's
trying
pretty
to
hard.
fly out.
It's hard from WA, yeah.
If you're already,
How long
I
is
would
it to
target the Open
drive?
and nationals.
No, it's just
To
a quick
Adelaide.
3 days.
3 days. I'd be interested to see how long it is.
Maybe Adelaide's
Imagine
bit
like a
shorter.
huge road trip
Oh, just get a bus.
with a bus and like 15 athletes. Probably wouldn't cost like it'd be cheaper, 100%. But time-wise, exhaustion.
If you need accommodation, but
yeah.
unless you're all sleeping on the bus, I don't know if it
Yeah,
ends up
sleep in the
cheaper.
bus.
Sleep in the bus?
Yeah, why
Oh,
not?
God. Everyone bring your swags. We're camping on the side of the road. Good preparation for a tournament.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think competing around into the other states is where we need to go as a nation. Like trying to build up the state league tournaments to make sure that we can compete more and it's a healthier environment. I know that's something that Matt Johnson's doing with the state team in South Australia. I think it's like a requirement now to be considered in the state team to travel to nationals. You have to attend a couple interstate league tournaments and the Australian Open before you get selected.
That is a hot take because at the end of the day, I think having that system in place where that is a requirement is the future. Like that's what we want out of our future. But the infrastructure behind it at the moment, does it support it? Like it's pretty hard financially to commit to what is that 3 tournaments?
It's 3 tournaments before the nationals.
Before nationals,
Plus the nationals. Yeah.
plus nationals, plus Oz Open, plus
the
national
Oz
team
Open's
training
included
camp
in
if
that,
you
right?
want.
No, Oz Open's included.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
That's going on the.
stop.
Was that a bird?
Stop.
Was that a bird?
It wasn't
I saw a bird.
anything, and only the people watching might be able to see what it
Are
was.
we inside? Definite bird.
Sorry.
You know why as well? Because it was like
I know exactly
I counted.
why.
This one was nationals. This one was open. This one.
I don't know if there's an excuse.
I love it. Okay, if you're watching
Is it hot
YouTube,
in here?
it's warm.
What's your aircon doing, man?
Yeah, aircon's
Jeez.
still broken.
Still broken.
If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see a nice little Easter egg of
No, you won't. It'll be
It's so
blurred.
funny. Oh gosh, I will blur it out. That'll be funny. Anyway, yeah.
Anyways,
So
what was I saying?
I don't know.
I was saying that there's like 6 tournaments / training camps that you have to commit to
Yeah.
throughout the year.
If you're national level.
If you're national level, which is a lot of financial
It's-
outlay.
Definitely reducing the accessibility
For the state
Yes,
team.
yeah.
for the state team. But I think from what I've heard, like even 10, 15 years ago, they always didn't pick everyone that nominated.
Yeah.
I think they've always taken quite the approach of like wanting to keep the quality up.
Yeah,
as a
I
state.
think South Australia has always had a small team. They've been very selective.
Yeah, I've heard there's quite often people that nominate that don't get picked.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so
That's
it's
the
kind
big-
of
big
the
argument
next
for and against.
step, I guess, in that.
It's hard. Like, I can't imagine if we were like 9-year-olds in the state team, 10-year-olds. Like, what was that? Was it 9, 10?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way we're doing that. I suppose
We would have loved to do it.
Would have loved to, but my parents would be
Parents
like,
would.
absolutely.
It's even harder from WA, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's tough to do that.
Yeah, so maybe Adelaide. I don't know how much it costs to get to Melbourne.
I think they can drive, which
Yeah,
is
so
nice. Like, it's a
if you
long,
can
I think it's like
drive-
8 hours. No, that's too long. Is it? I don't know.
Even if it was 8 hours, like if you go in the day before, sleep the night, and then stay the night, and then do the tournament, and maybe drive back that night.
Yeah.
It'd be nice
Or
if there's
stay
some
1-1.
assistance
Yeah.
of like, hey, the South Australia state's targeting this one, and we'll catch a bus. And
Yeah.
like some kind
Yeah.
of like encourage everyone to go to the same one and make it a bit easier for people.
I like that.
The possibilities are like in the future for that rollout is going to be so good. Like you can make it really, really like streamlined.
Yeah.
But I suppose it goes with anything with change. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah. I also like the host state not charging them for the tournament. You
So
know,
this is
no
where it
tournament fee, or like a minimal tournament fee to cover insurance or something like that, but just a heavy discount for those travelling interstate.
It's where it gets a little bit funny. It's like because for Perth, for WA, the state league tournaments are run by clubs, and that's their incentive to make money, right? You know?
Yeah.
So it's like you're asking someone.
What are you
that's-
getting, like 5 people though? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know, but it's like you're asking someone to not to sacrifice their sales.
Maybe the state could just pay for it.
Wow. Interesting.
I think that'd be a hard sell. I think that would
That's
be a hard
a
sell
even
for
hotter
state
take.
federations to do that. Yeah.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that we can move towards a better future of like more competitions. It's just going to have to take some adjustments, I think.
Yeah, you need step 1 and 2 before we
yeah.
get to that third step.
4 steps. I get like a little bit PTSD when he starts talking about
I
that.
know.
What I want to
PTSD.
say though is I think it'll be good to see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm keen.
And you can't judge it off like the first year, second year. It's more like the kids that have been doing that for a couple of years, where do they end up?
True. We're all going to be like,
It's the long-term goal.
in like 5 years, we're going to be sitting here discussing about the South Australian team, how they're just cutting sick nationally.
Dominating.
Yeah. Little Ariani is like now 20 years old and she's just like world champion.
Jinx,
Jinx,
buy me a Coke. Oh, we can't say the next word. Damn,
Well,
we're
you've already-
bad.
I got it.
We
You've already
never get
done
that. We never get that.
I don't even know what that was. I feel so old right now.
21 Jump Street,
I think it's 22.
22 Jump Street.
Oh, I haven't watched that in
Yeah,
ages.
it's like the twins. They are.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're moving
I'm
on.
embarrassed to be in this room right
Okay.
now, but that's...
Youth League is happening next weekend.
Yeah, in Fujairah in Dubai, I
Yep.
assume. So,
Yep.
UAE. Oh, wait, no, it can't be Dubai because it's in Fujairah.
It's just yeah. The United. This is a cowboy podcast right now.
Cowboy
What's going
po-
on?
Yeah.
Cowboy.
We're going crazy.
It's quite a term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is.
I wonder if anyone is going because it's cheaper to get to than Europe.
Yep.
100%. It's half the journey, literally.
Yeah.
So it's happening after the release of this podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, the week
Comment
after.
comment if you're going so we know. We'll be knowing anyway because we'll be updating everyone on the email list
Yeah.
with who's going.
We just don't know
Yeah.
currently because
Yeah.
there's a lot going on.
You know it's going to be a fantastic tournament.
Yeah.
In I was about to say Dubai again. In Fujairah, it'll be a very high quality tournament.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens if like any Aussies go to the youth leagues this year. It's just I can't wait to see the development for the kids. It's gonna be wicked.
They should definitely be targeting.
Yep.
Important. Make them compulsory.
State team requirement.
Not to enter your state league tournament, you must go to this.
But yeah.
But it is good to base your year around doing a youth league because there's no junior world. So if you're a junior worlds athlete, you don't have that tournament to aim towards. Pick a youth league towards maybe the tail end of the year or in the middle of the year, whatever suits your life better.
Yeah.
Target that and train for that instead of the big world championship or something.
Absolutely.
All right, so we are getting a new website.
Updating our website. Yeah.
Yep. Updating our website. It's in the works at the moment. Currently, hopefully by the time this episode releases, it's up and running. Oh my gosh. But it's a nice little compact place where you can see who we are, read about us, see what we did last year, what we're doing this year. Just a bit more of an accessible platform, I guess.
It was a little bit outdated at the start of this year, and that's why we've done the whole update. But yeah, I'm loving it. Like just listing out what we did in 2024. I still can't wrap my head around how we did it. Honestly, like it's so much work and we achieved so much, and I feel like we really added so much value to the karate community. So check it out in what we did in 2024, and we also have that information about what we're doing this year. If you were part of the mailing list, you would have received that in the email.
And it's just another way that we're communicating.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we talk about it in the pods, people got the socials, and then on the website. Hopefully
guess-
people know what we're about.
Not everyone's on social media or listens to the podcast, so some people might just be like, who are these guys? What are we doing? Like, what's this whole thing about, you know? But I'm so excited to see that. And, you know, as we go along and as we grow, we're going to make more additions to that website. And, yeah, it's going to be so exciting. Sweet. Anything else you want to chat about before we wrap it up?
I think that's it.
Do I need to make apologies for anything?
No. You're all good. No way.
Nah, wrap it up, Mitchell. Wrap it up.
All right. Second pod for the year done. And as always, please let us know your feedback. Send us any questions. Send us an email or DM on Instagram or Facebook. After all, we're an organisation for you. The email is kaizenculture.info@gmail.com. So sign up to the mail list that we always love talking about to hear about anything new coming up and also the athletes that are competing overseas. Thanks very much, lads. I'll see you in the next one.
It's a great one.
Oh, it's
It's my job.
sorry.